Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning back in. And as always, I'm going to just briefly cover how I did on the day as far as day trading went and how I was able to kind of capitalize on the market today. But I definitely did make a lot of mistakes today I want to go over. And yeah, so just to get right into it, I was up $33 on TQs and I was down 47 cents on SQs. So 430 filled orders on the day. And here they all are for you guys to see. And yeah, so I wasn't really happy with how I traded today, and the reason for that is because today I was actually down at one point $60 to $70, and I ended up having to work my way out of that, obviously, and I was thankfully able to end green on top of that. But the green day is not anything to be excited about, right? It was $33, so right around 0.33%, right? I'm using $10,000 when I day trade. That's when I'm in fully. And yeah, so I wasn't happy with myself today, and I want to talk about why. And the reason is what I've been struggling with the days I've been red is that I constantly find myself basically making too many mistakes. And it takes me too many, basically, I'm getting it faked out way too many times, and I can walk through an example with you right now. But so right around here was when the market opened up at 6:30 in the morning, and we immediately started to get this push up for TQQQ, right? And I always tell you guys this, but the market likes to shoot up in one direction, right? When the market opens up, usually the NASDAQ, and then it tends to find some type of choppiness. And today I was on the lookout for that, right? When the market started to push up aggressively, I thought there was a chance, since we were approaching the top VWAP, that we could start to find some type of struggle and eventually start seeing this type of move that we ended up having. This push for SQQQ, meaning the NASDAQ fell down, right? SQQQ is the ETF. It acts in direct opposite of the NASDAQ. So as the NASDAQ pushes down, SQQQ, if you notice, if I'll pull up the chart, it will look exactly like the opposite of the NASDAQ. That's why you'll see it ended up downtrending on the day, when towards the end of the day, the NASDAQ was uptrending, right? So here is where I went wrong, and why did I think there was also going to be some type of resistance right around here? Look at the 5-day, 5-minute, and you'll notice that this is where we were pushing up to when the market opened up, and we are approaching the top VWAP, and just like in the past before, when the market has approached the top VWAP, you'll notice it tends to act as some type of resistance, basically, right? And the market ends up selling off pretty aggressively after. So I was on the lookout for that, and right around these levels we started to get that, but unfortunately I ended up getting caught in too many fake outs today. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but when the market started to sell off, I bought into SQQs, and as it broke below the EMA, I averaged up only for this to pop up, right? I would sell for a loss, and then this thing would start falling again, and I would think, alright, this is the time it's finally going to start to sell off. And then I would average up only to get caught in the same mistake. So I just need to be aware of the fact that the NASDAQ was still trying to validate this blue EMA line here as a support. And anytime it fell below it, it tried to really pop off. And it's not until we started to see these lower highs form where the market really wanted to use the blue EMA line here as a resistance, not as a support, right? A support would mean it would just try and hold it up to keep going. And now if I say it's acting as a resistance, what I mean is that it's basically rejecting it. Anytime the NASDAQ pushes up, you'll notice it starts to shoot down and get rejected off of it instead of pushing up. So when you start to see it get rejected, that's how you can know that it's starting to make a move for SQs or downtrend for the NASDAQ, right? And yeah, that's what I was on the lookout for. So I kept getting caught in too many fake outs today and dug myself in a hole until I was able to fortunately take advantage of one of these drops. But I was still red on the day, and if you'll notice, I made my money on TQQQ today. So my last trade was right around 850, and if you look at the charts, that is right around here. I was able to start capitalizing on this change of direction. So now I want to talk to you guys about, I started again to SQs thinking the market was going to fall. So why on earth did I decide to start changing direction if I thought the market was going to fall, right? Well, right around here was a critical area. Right around here was the middle VWAP, and anytime the NASDAQ trends between or trades between the middle VWAP and the top VWAP, that's a good sign that it's typically trying to uptrend still. And anytime it trends below the middle VWAP and the bottom VWAP, that's typically a sign that the Nasdaq is going to start to downtrend, right? It makes sense. And right around here was a pretty big critical point, and I didn't know whether we were going to start to continuously sell off and get that confirmation that it did want to fall, or if we were going to start to form this support here and try and bounce off this middle VWAP here. The market might briefly pull below it, but just because it doesn't mean it's going to just start falling, right? As you'll see here, sometimes it takes a little fall below for it to actually start to hold. And right around here, I was really just looking out for that. I wanted to see whether the market wanted to keep falling or whether it was going to try and find some type of support around here to start uptrending. And on top of that, if you'll notice this, it was trying to form another higher low. Last week, or the week before that, last week my brother traded. I was really talking about in the videos I made how higher lows, you have to look out for that type of pattern. And that's a sign you can basically, that it can let you know that the market might start to uptrend. And when I saw that the market right around this level didn't want to keep falling, you'll see, if you'll notice, if I zoom in, how many green candles there are like right around here, right? It just wanted to really pop off in this area, and that's what I saw was forming, right? A higher low. The low it had here was higher than it previously was trading at, which means it was still trying to validate an uptrending pattern. So when I saw that, and especially when the market started to push and break above this green SMA line here, I thought it was looking good to start, just like it did here, using the blue EMA line as a support again, rather than a resistance, right? It was going to start to ride it up as a support. Anytime it approached it, it would basically jump off of it up. And once I saw that pattern forming, right, it started to trend above this blue EMA line here, fell briefly below it, but then bounced off it again for higher highs, right? That was my indication that I should start looking to go with TQQQ now, because it's looking like it's going to uptrend. And that's what happened in my last trade. I closed out right around here. I was able to average up a little early on, and I was able to sell out at areas where I thought it was starting to get a little more rejected again, right? You'll notice this was a nice play up, and right around here was around the area that we saw some rejection just like half an hour earlier. So I was looking out for that, right? It tried to get rejected, come up and get rejected again. Once I saw some struggle, I personally decided to sell, and obviously I sold early, right? The market ended up booming, but I did take into consideration that I had to go to work, so I just wanted to do my part to play it safe and just lock it in for, my own peace of mind. And yeah, that's how today went. Thank you guys all so much for tuning back in once again. I hope this was helpful for you guys, but one takeaway I would just say is to look at the bigger picture, like I always tell you guys, to look out for these potential areas we might start to get some rejection right near the top VWAP, or a potential support, right around here on the bigger time frame. You could see this higher low I was talking about forming. The market shot up, and even though it did fall a little aggressively, it was still overall uptrending, bigger picture, right? The low it had here was still higher than it was previously, and that's what everyone else saw, right? And yeah, it started to bounce, and that's why it would have been in your best interest to go with TQQQ. So yeah, thank you guys once again for tuning back in. Not the most exciting green day, but I am looking to definitely get better every day, and I hope you guys have been killing it as well. And yeah, see you guys all tomorrow. Take care.